Hello and welcome back to FiMFiction Spotlight. This time we're taking a look at stories about robots. First up, we have The Clockwork Pony, and that is about Twilight Sparkle spending quite a while in her lab. Her friends are all worried about her, so they go down and they find out that she has created a pony out of clockwork, and she is going to bring it to life with a come-to-life spell from Star Swirl and see what happens. And of course, stuff ensues from there. It's pretty good. It's definitely not the best one on this list, but I would definitely check it out if I were you. Next up, we have 3 Wishes, the Cutie Mark Crusaders Before They Changed the World. This also has a sequel which, as I checked it last, is unfinished, but the story itself is about the Cutie Mark Crusaders finding out that none of them are actually ponies, they're all golems of one sort or another. And yes, I know I'm technically cheating, but Sweetie Belle is a clockwork pony, so technically it's a robot. Shush. It's a pretty freaking good story, and actually it ties into Norse mythology, so that's actually really, really cool. Next up on the list is Sweetie Belle and the Tablet of Knowledge. Now, unfortunately, this has a sequel that I don't think is ever going to be finished, which is really sad because the way that this story ends is really, really conducive for an amazing sequel, but unfortunately, the sequel will never be finished. The story itself is about Sweetie Belle when she accidentally gets basically a microchip installed in her brain that starts teaching her a bunch of things that ponies don't even know yet because they haven't discovered all these scientific principles and whatnot. And also, she has a non-disclosure agreement, so she can't tell anyone about it, and that causes a lot of problems too. And as you can probably tell, it's a really, really funny story, but it's also really, really dramatic and really well done. So I would definitely check it out. Next up on our list, we have Sweetie Bot, A Hearth-Warming Tale. Yep, that's right, it's time for the It's Complicated train again, where I give an episode a couple of letters instead of a number score to confuse people, then tell everyone it means it's complicated so that I can explain why it's complicated. For all intents and purposes, this story should be a 10 out of 10. It should be a top-tier story. Unfortunately, the writer isn't a native English speaker, and doesn't believe in editors for some reason, because, oh my gosh, the grammar and the spelling and the mistakes just keep coming. I really, really wish I could give this a perfect score, but I can't because of that. If this was fixed up, it would honestly be one of the best stories I've ever read. But unfortunately, because of the grammar and spelling issues, it isn't. However, I implore you, unless you are deathly allergic to grammar and spelling errors, check this one out, because if you can look past that, it has one of the most compelling narratives I've read on the site. And also, very few people have actually seen it and read it and upvoted it and downvoted it and whatever. So, the more people that see this one, the better. Last on our list is The Iron Horse, Everything's Better with Robots. This is quite possibly my favorite ever. It's genuinely, possibly my favorite story I've ever read on FiMFiction, and I can't stop obsessing over it. It's the entire reason that I decided that this one would be robots. The Iron Horse is about what happens after a robot walks through Sweet Apple Acres to get to Ponyville, is struck by lightning, found by the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and before turning off, says Twilight Sparkle. Then, of course, they reactivate it, and it has no memories and has to start from scratch. And let me tell you something. It might seem a little slow at first, it might seem a little at first, but give it a couple chapters. Because the robot Turing test is one of the most wonderful, adorable, amazing characters. Like, you remember Past Sins and Nyx and all of that? Throw Nyx in the garbage. Turing Test is better. It's so well done. Everything about it is well done. And it has 2 Christmas specials that are both well done, one of which is actually referenced within the story itself. And it has a sequel that's in progress that so far is really well done. And it has a crossover with Pony.exe that is really well done. So it's just really well done, period. And it's nearly 600,000 words. So I know that seems like a lot, but the commitment is so worth it. So please check this one out. I hope you check these out. And if you enjoyed, or if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button. Support me on Patreon or Ko-fi, links in the description. Down in the description, you can also find the link to today's outro music. So let's take you to that outro music. See you later.